This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. Adam Smith, we've just seen the rematch, split decision, Oleksandr Usyk taking it over Anthony Joshua. Talk us through it.
Very surprised it was a split decision, first of all. I thought that Usyk won it fairly clearly, whether it was 3, 4, 5, he won the fight. It was a great performance from Oleksandr again, closer in those opening rounds, and Anthony Joshua had his moments all the way through, great body shots, and it was a much better AJ. He was more intense, he held himself together, he got through, and he troubled Usyk at times. The problem was that Usyk managed to turn the tables just when he seemed to be in a spot of bother, and that was absolutely fantastic. And you just got to take your hats off to Oleksandr Usyk, especially in those championship rounds when anything AJ tried to do, he just countered, and he was brilliant, masterful. But then again, I thought Joshua was a fantastic effort, and he's got nothing to be ashamed about. He should have his head held high. It was a really good performance. I mean, Johnny Nelson was saying it was the best performance of his career. AJ, he showed so much, and I'm sure that he would have enjoyed better nights than this. But ultimately, he took the pound for pound king, or the pound for pound number 2, wherever you put it, Oleksandr Usyk, 24 rounds, and it was a much better performance from Joshua than it was at Tottenham. But I think Usyk was better again, and he showed why he's such a difficult guy to beat, such a tough puzzle to solve, and also the heart and the physical conditioning and mental attitude to any time he looked in any sort of trouble to come back firing. And I mean, he's a phenomenon, isn't he? And I think it was just a pleasure to watch him again perform, and perform under pressure this time.
Obviously we'll watch the commentary when we get back, Adam. How excited did you get at the end of that 9th round? Did you just think for a second he could pull it off?
Listen, there was always a chance that you thought, could Joshua hurt him? He hurt him, didn't he, earlier on, but it was a low blow, slightly low of the border, and just that was the key, and that was the right tactics. Usyk's been down to a body shot in the amateurs, but he's so tough, he's so resilient, and I think his training just gets even better and better, and he's such a tough obstacle to crack. So I think Joshua just couldn't get the combinations off. He had good single shot success, but ultimately it just came down to levels and the fact he tired a bit towards the end, and Usyk came on strong in those championship rounds. And as I said, he's going to be a very tough obstacle to overcome, and probably Tyson Fury is the only man on this planet that can have a chance of doing that. He's so big, and he'll have that advantage going in, but it'll be fascinating to watch, won't it?
It will. Just very quickly, Adam, before you dash, can I ask you about the 2 speeches at the end? AJ's first, quite passionate, quite raw. Anything we can read into that, do you think?
Yeah, look, it was strange, wasn't it? It was probably the time for Oleksandr Usyk to take his glory, but I think Anthony he just put so much passion and effort into it. I think he was probably slightly stunned and slightly emotional at the end, and he grabbed the mic and he said some nice things about Oleksandr Usyk. It wasn't an awful thing. I don't know why he threw the belts down at ringside. I didn't quite get that, but it's the emotion of everything, and I think we can forgive him for that. But it was Oleksandr Usyk's moment, so and it should have been. But there's a lot of respect between the pair. They've shared 24 rounds, and it was Usyk's night again, and and a great night for him and his country, Ukraine, who've had such a torrid year and a terrible time. It's just great that he's a beacon of light for them.
Absolutely. Oleksandr Usyk's speech, a lot shorter. He said if it's not Tyson Fury next, he isn't fighting again.
Well, he wants Tyson Fury, he wants the undisputed title. I believe it will happen if he can tempt Tyson out of Morecambe, and I don't see why not. There's going to be a huge amount of money on the table for Tyson, and I'm sure there'll be a clamour for him to try and become undisputed champion himself. There's plenty of belts around, and why not? I think that's a fight that has to happen, and I'm sure Tyson wants it.
How do you see it going? Because Usyk is definitely elite, isn't he?
They're both elite. They're both elite fighters. They're both natural fighters. I think what AJ was saying was that he wasn't, and he was a late developer and didn't have that amateur experience. Well, we know Tyson basically was born to box. So was Oleksandr. So it's going to be a gripping affair, an enthralling contest, a worthy contest between the 2 best in the world for the undisputed. You'd have to lean towards Tyson because of the size advantage that he's got in, but no one's beaten Oleksandr Usyk as a professional, and not many did it in the 350 amateur fights he had, so it's going to be no easy fight for Tyson Fury.
And what's next for you, Adam?
What's next for me? September the 10th. huge night. Can't wait. Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall topping the bill. It's a fantastic main event. It's a wonderful night for women's sport with Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgardner on as well. Caris and Lauren, who I was messaging earlier tonight, they're in really good shape, ready to go. Caroline Dubois as well. Fantastic night. A great night for women's boxing, and the elite on display. So the O2 is going to be absolutely rocking. Great build up to that. But before that, I'm returning to a holiday because my brother's getting married in America, so I've got to go, Steve.
Good man. Adam Smith, safe journey home.
Cheers. Take care.
Thank you, Adam.